Hello, everybody. This is Kyrix with another episode of This Week in Kyrix. This is the episode for the week of Wednesday, December 13th of 2017. This, of course, being me, I'm recording it 5 days later on the 18th in the morning. Well, this one's been a relatively uneventful week because there was no hero clicks last week. All that really happened was that, let's see. I went to Pokemon League again. One of the people at the league has joined the Discord. I handed out a couple, I guess, name tags. Really, I wrote down the contact info for the Pokemon League Discord, the unofficial Pokemon League Discord, on sheets of paper and passed those out to a couple people and told them, hey, contact this name on Discord. Send a message saying, hey, I'm from the league, and you'll get an invite. But hopefully I'll get some more people on at, tomorrow, really, because it's Monday now, and it's only 4:20 in the morning, but it's Monday nonetheless. So hopefully tomorrow I will get that taken care of. Sorry about the yawns, which is what those little breaks are when I stop talking. It's me quietly yawning. Really, I just woke up. I've been on a weird shift lately where around midnight every night, the roommate goes to bed and I take over. I refer to myself and the cats as the night shift, because when he goes to bed, I open my door and the girls all go out. They're actually almost all out of the room right now except Betsy, because she never fucking leaves the room. She rarely leaves the bed anymore. She's just kind of a homebody cat. But I basically came in my room and closed the door to record this, and then I'm going to go back out work on the winter event of Star Trek Online. So yeah, that's a thing I've been playing, is Star Trek Online. Haven't been playing it much because I'm going to contact them and basically say, look, are there any plans to eventually link the shit I bought for the computer to the shit that I have now? Because right now, you're looking at me never spending money on this game again. That's what you're looking at, because there's no point. Because they've already proven right now that all the shit, and I spent anywhere from $50 to $200. I don't have an exact number, but I've spent somewhere between $50 and $200 altogether on Star Trek Online. I bought every single Federation escort all the way up to Tier 5, I want to say. Basically, I bought the Lieutenant escort, which is the NX. I bought the Saber. I bought the Defiant. Actually, the Defiant and the Defiant retrofit. I bought... Come on. What's the other thing? There's like 4 of them. There's the Steam Runner. No, not Steam Runner. Although now I technically have the Steam Runner, because they gave that away to all the PlayStation Plus members, which I am. So I've got the Steam Runner as well. Steam Runner, NX, Saber. Defiant is Captain. NX is Lieutenant. Saber is Lieutenant Commander. Commander is... Akira? No. It's not Akira. Either way, I have the Commander one. I forget what it is, but I have the Commander one. I have the Defiant, which is Captain. I have the Defiant Retrofit, which is low-tier Admiral. And that's when I stopped buying, because you only need one retrofit of that regard. And I chose the Cloak. And I have every single Klingon Bird of Prey. I have the Constitution Cruiser for Lieutenants. I have the Oberth Cruiser, or not Cruiser, but side ship for Lieutenants. I have the Yellowstone. I have the Tudoj Fighter. I don't know if I have any Romulan shit, but I probably have something for the Romulans. Basically, that's a lot of shit. A lot of ships and a lot of shit for those ships. And I don't... It's ridiculous. And if they tell me, hey, eventually we're going to give you... We promise that eventually we're going to transfer the shit to PlayStation 4, I'm like, well, hell, I'll start working on those scimitars for the Romulans. But if not, then there's no reason for me to spend money, because what happens if I play this for 10 years or so, and then the PlayStation 5 comes out, and I try to transfer my shit, and they're like, oh, we're sorry, PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 are separate, you have to buy everything again. You know, there's just no point at that point, you know? So yeah, there's no clicks last week. There will be a game this week, and I'm actually gonna borrow some money for the roommate because it's gonna be a draft, and I want to buy into that one. Though I'm gonna say flat out that I probably will not have money next month for any kind of draft because I have to get a certain thing. I have to get a new phone next month, actually. And my aunt might be able to help me with it, but I can't guarantee that, and I can't guarantee how much she'll help me. Because the phone's $60. She could spot me all 60 of it. She could spot me $1 of it. She could spot me none of it. And, you know, it's kind of important that I replace that phone because it's really spotty right now. And it's only going to get worse, you know? I mean, once the device starts deteriorating to the point my phone is at, it doesn't get better, it just gets worse. So, there's only 2 more episodes of this. One should be recorded in the next 2 days. Then there's the one right before New Year's, and then I have this year in Kyrix, and then we're done with this. We're done with 2017. Now, I'm going to say next week there's quite a bit going on. Like, at some point, the roommate and I are going to go see the new Star Wars. He's already seen it twice. And there's some asshole in another thread who might have spoiled something for me, but meh, you know. I'm not super concerned at the moment. He could just be an asshole and spoiled something. He could just be bullshitting me. I'll find out within a week or so. This coming Saturday, I'm actually going to be going to Cece's with my friend as a replacement for our usual barbecue. Because I basically told him, I'm like, hey, can we, instead of a barbecue, go to Cece's? Because we've done that before. We basically, usually it's a barbecue, but generally it's just we have lunch together and hang out. I'm like, hey, can we do it this way? Because I've got a freebie coming and I want to save money. He's like, yeah. And since I have that day off, we'll go on your birthday. I'm like, cool, that's awesome. I've been playing a fuck ton of 7 Days to Die. Like, 6 to 10 hours, it feels like. Like, I'll go on midnight, you know, and I'll just fire up 7 Days to Die and play until like 8 in the morning. Lately, I'll play Star Trek for like a half an hour to an hour just doing my daily shit. And then I'll switch over to 7 Days and I'll play that. As of yesterday morning, we now own Battlefront 2 for the PlayStation 4. Because I got it in my head to look for the Old Republic to see. Because it seems weird that Star Trek's on there, but Star Wars isn't. The MMO for free. And there's not a pay version either. It's just not on PS4, which is kind of fucked up because I might actually enjoy it on PS4. But meh. And I happened to notice there was a sale until like today at 11 a.m. saying, hey, we got both versions of Battlefront 2 on sale. One for like $30 when normally it's $50, and one for $50 when it's normally $80. And we bought the $50 one. And I told him, because he's like, oh, I might look at it. I'm like, well, I think the sale ends, you know, today at 11 in the morning. And he bought it, and I spent most of last night downloading and installing it. And I played it at like 10 in the morning or some shit. It's decent. I don't like the randomness of it. Like, I tried to connect for some space battles, and it's like, okay, we're going to play this map, and you're going to be this faction, and you have to deal with it. I'm like, can I, like, search? Because in the old Battlefronts on Xbox, I can go, oh, look, they're playing a space battle. Okay, I want to join this. Hey, can I be the Republic? Because that's all I want, you know? I mean, and I'm perfectly fine, you know, switching over to a private thing, like one player, and playing space battles, but I can't find out how to do that. And I can't figure out if I can start my own fucking server. It just randomly jumps me on shit, and it pisses me off. The game itself is good, but the lack of player agency really pisses me off. I can't pick my side. I can't pick what map I'm in. I can't pick what fucking era I'm in. There should be an option like, hey, what do you want to do? Prequel trilogy, original trilogy, or new trilogy timeline? And I would go, I want Clone Wars. I want to play droids versus Republic. I want to play droids versus clones. Because I didn't get to do that in the first game, and that's my favorite era, but there's no option for that. They brought back the class system, which I actually prefer, because, there's specific abilities. And, yeah. Still waiting on my Larvitar plush, and it occurs to me now, because I stopped to check on it, that I probably won't get it this month, because I didn't realize until I checked on it that it's coming from China, so it's going to take a month to get here anyway. I got a little extra money from the roommate, finally, for doing a chore like a week ago, and basically upgraded my GameFly so I can get a second game out, so I can start playing some PS4 shit. And I also spent my coupon to buy WWE 2K17 because I've seen Team 4-Star play it, and there's a promo system where you can actually cut a promo, and I really like that. That alone is the reason I bought the game, because I want to be able to do that shit. Which is funny, because I really haven't kept up with the company in like 4 years. So, I'm not going to recognize the goddamn thing that's going on, and I don't much care. Because, really, I don't know about the rest of you, but my interactions with the actual roster are very slim when I play these games. Because I have, since as far back as Warzone on the PlayStation, I have only ever done created wrestlers, And Warzone only had a cast of like 8 people anyway, so it wasn't that big a deal. Where I'd beat up these other the real wrestlers with my created wrestlers, and then WrestleMania 2000. I won't say then it came out, because it was out for a long time by the time I got it, but I bought my friend's old N64, and that was one of the games he had. Now, not being a super fan of wrestling, I never would have bought the game myself, but it came with the system, so I'm playing it. And I used up literally every slot for created wrestlers, and I built just these people that I've carried with me through every created roster I've ever made, stretching as far back as Warzone. Like 1 or 2 of the characters in there were from there. And I've expanded on these people forever, like my original guy. I've added a brother, and his father was like a legend, and he had a rival who was the father of another person who started out as a joke character, It's just, I have this vast up for literally a decade, now that I think about it, I was like 17 when I started this shit, and I'm turning 35 this week. So, I've been at this a while. I mean, fuck the real people. I have my own, I have my own roster where, given enough time, I will build this shit back up. And all my friends know some of these characters, because they've seen me, like, when I was living with one of my friends, Reaper, when I was staying with him when he was on house arrest, he knew this roster, because we would play fucking, we would play, what's it called, General Manager mode, and we would import our characters, and we would have some of my old classic characters, and we'd have certain actual wrestlers on there, So he knows it. All my friends who've been with me a while know a lot of these characters, because they'd come over to my house and play them on WrestleMania 2000, or, the next system, what was it? They'd come over and play Raw 2. Because Raw 2 still had one of the best season modes ever, because it was just randomized, It's just, hey, you can do this thing. You can, like, go and steal people's clothes and shit. Like, if you steal from someone, if you're successful, first you get, like, one of their outfits, then you get their backstage outfit, then you get, like, their Titantron video and all that shit that you just look at whenever. And you could attack people so that they're more beat up before their matches, so that they'll likely lose. You can try and set traps for them and drop shit on their head, you know? You can try and form a stable. You can... It's a fun system, you know? And we always hated Ric Flair. So we would literally... all of us, it would be the greatest thing, because it's like, oh, there are 8 matches. So during 7 of these matches, we'll do shit, and then we'll have our actual match. And sometimes we don't have a match, so it's like, hey, I get 8 slots to fuck around. And we'd play with like 3 people, so what would happen is... you'd have one match, and you'd have, oh, like during match 1, Ric Flair's just walk around backstage, and a fucking crate drops on his head. And then this crazy guy beats the shit out of him, and then a safe drops on his head, and the next match, he'll have like 20 things dropped on his head, and he's just like, we just had this headcanon where he's just wandering around backstage in mortal fear, looking up, knowing something's going to drop on his goddamn head, because he just could not, we just put him in a fucking insane asylum because we kept assaulting him, literally assaulting him with boxes. And it's just stupid shit like that made it great. Plus, there's this great thing where they didn't have any of the belts except the women's title, which may not have even been in the game now that I think about it, were not gender locked. So without fail, by the end of the first year, usually by the end of the 3rd pay-per-view, one of the created women will have taken the World Heavyweight Championship from Triple H. It just happens that way. It always happens that way. And it's hilarious, Because for those who don't know, this is right before the Evolution era started, when that belt was new. Because Randy Orton and Batista are both in the game, but they don't have their Evolution shit going on. And this is back when Hunter held that belt unbroken for like ever. The only person to take it from him for any length of time was Shawn Michaels, and then Goldberg later on. But he held that belt for a period of like 3 years with only like 2 breaks in it. So the idea that this random girl just comes up and kicks the shit out of him and takes his belt is the best thing. But, so yeah, I'm looking forward to 2K17. The first game in my rental slot is Resident Evil 7. I've been avoiding everything online for the game because I'm like, oh, I don't have a way to play it. And then I watched the new Resident Evil movie. The real Resident Evil movie about the real characters called Vendetta. And I'm like, when does this take place? And I'm like, oh, it's between 6 and 7. And I'm like, oh, there shouldn't be any spoilers. And then I realized, dude, there's a PS4 in your living room. Rent 7 and beat it. I'm like, oh, I should do that. Anyway, my channel. I'm a little late getting into this. My channel. Here's the news on my channel. Due to circumstances that are, for the time being, utterly beyond my control, all the shit that's due to upload will upload. All of it. But I have no means right now to retrieve the other shit. I can't retrieve my schedule, so I don't know what's what and when what goes where. And many videos, and in fact an entire project, is irretrievable right now because it's on that hard drive that's on a dead computer. As far as I know, the hard drive itself is intact, but there ain't send me a couple $100 to take this thing into a shop, which I will not turn down. But I couldn't get my Patreon to give me so much as $1, much less a fucking $100 donation. But you never know. Anyway, what I'm looking at is starting next year, I'm just gonna have to start the whole fucking thing over again and say, look, these projects are for the time being dead in the water, and there's nothing I can do about that. If I can ever retrieve them, I will, and I will pick up where I left off. But for the time being, there's nothing I can do. I'm gonna try, starting next month probably, to find some kind of employment so I can get a job and start setting aside for a better computer. We'll see how that goes. If I can get a better computer, then we will see about starting a new season of recordings where I'm basically... I've talked about before how I have the lotto dream, where what would I do if I won the lotto in any kind of sustainable way? the current lotto dream is basically ending up with $1 million and just putting it in the bank and living off the interest. If I were to do that, which isn't likely, not because winning the lotto is so out there, it's unlikely because I never have the money to spend on so much as a fucking scratch-off. But if it happened, I would take about a year or so off, get just a great computer, and record. Let's say this happened at the start. Let's say February 2018, I win, let's say $2 million and put $1 million of it in the bank and just live off that. You will not see shit aside from This Week in Kyrix on my channel until 2019, at which point I will start over from scratch and I will basically hire someone to edit my videos for the first time, or like, instead of just, I'll take out dialogue that wasn't supposed to be there. No, you'll have actual editing kind of thing. It's just something to keep me going in the meantime. But we're gonna call it here. I'll see you in 2 days, really. And we are fast approaching the end of the year when I start doing new shit. So we'll see what happens. Bye-bye.